Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Big Talk Pigskin. I'm your host, Bowden, and I'm joined with my wonderful co-host, Andre. Andre, how have you been?
I'm doing pretty good. Been good. Have to be back. Sorry, guys, about last week. But the Wi-Fi was out. But we're gonna give you a very good episode today to make up for it. Bowden, how have you been?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just on the grind, keep working, and keep watching football, keep living.
Good. Love to hear it.
Yeah, and again, like Andre said, Monday just didn't work for us. So it didn't work out, but we're here today. This won't be an issue next week. But yeah, we'll start off here just kind of looking over the playoff poll, some of the stuff that moved around. Obviously, Ohio State, Indiana still on top. Obviously, there's no changes to be made. Oregon had dropped down after playing Iowa. It dropped down to 8 with Alabama losing. Last week. They jumped back up to 7, so they're back in the right up. When we talk about that in a little bit, who knows? USC jumps up a couple spots. They move up to 15, and then Michigan stays at 18. I mean, they didn't play. Makes sense. They're still looking at playoff spot, them and USC. Just dependent on these next couple weeks. And then Illinois also has jumped in to the playoff ranking for the first time this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the playoff ranks are definitely very interesting. Like this is a change on the top conference in college football because right now it's always just SEC, and even when you look at it now, SEC has I want to say 5 teams in right now, and the Big Ten only has 3 teams in for sure. I mean, we hope we get USC and bump that to 4. Maybe we can knock another SEC team out. But like I kind of want to see like the Big Ten kind of use this as a chance to build some momentum and like not just Ohio State or actively build that momentum. And, kind of just move up in the ranks. I'm tired of hearing like the Southern down South boys talk trash about the Big Ten. They all they want to talk about is SEC, how they're the best. And I feel like Big Ten and SEC like the game when they feel like it would be a big blow, and I know it would not. Like the Big Ten can compete with these SEC teams.
Yeah, 100%. And yes, they do. They have 5. SEC has 5 in right now. And even at that, it actually might really more round out to only being 4 currently. I don't have the exact bracket pulled up looking at it, but like Alabama, yes, is that 5th team in the top 12. They're at number 10, but you got to think there's going to be an ACC champion plus a group of 5 or group of 6 champion, however you want to look at it. That would also be in there. So that would kind of, but yeah, the SEC is obviously really good. They don't have many losses across the board on those top teams up there. I mean, Oklahoma and Alabama, who are the 2 lower of the SEC teams up in the rankings right now, I mean, they have a combined 4 losses. They've each lost 2 games. Alabama, obviously, losing to Florida State does not look good. But, losing to Oklahoma, I believe that's who they lost to last week. Not a huge loss. I mean, Oklahoma, again, they're up there still. Texas lost, not so good. And I can't, off the top of my head, can't think what their other loss was. Maybe Georgia. I like I like watching the SEC, but I don't memorize exactly who's beaten who over there, so might have messed up exactly who those all were. But yeah, it's a good conference. The Big Ten can compete completely with them.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for these college playoffs. Some different competition and get outside of the conference again. That's like, I mean, the conference, like, it's exciting, but like only like the close nail biters, like the Oregon USC game, like those are the exciting ones we kind of still got left. And then we'll have like Ohio State, Michigan coming up soon. So I mean, we do have some big games, but I'm ready for them to play like those other like top 10, top 12 teams.
Yeah, I'm ready to see them play some out of conference opponents who are really good. Big Ten, We don't really get that in the Big Ten. It kind of sucks. Usually it's just put on inside the conference and beat each other up. But yeah, like Ohio State, obviously, with Texas, the beginning of the year, Texas isn't great. They're not very good. So they put on a persona to look good, and by look good, I mean just win games miraculously. They have really good grade, but it's still a good Ohio State. But it's just that's not the see. You want to see a very competitive game.
Yeah.
And then you look at just many of those teams just don't play other power conference opponents outside of the conference very much. Iowa always plays Iowa State, but neither has lost 2 in a row. They're not very good at this point in the year. So it's like this is a game that doesn't even matter. Let's look at these ones that are going to matter in a couple weeks. Very ready to see those matchups.
I'll say, those are the ones that get you excited. That really brings you back next week. I don't know, your team beating up on another team, or they're like 2 lesser teams playing. It kind of just, I don't know, it kind of drains you a little bit, and you get tired of watching it. But when you get to those playoffs, and it's like this week I saw Ohio State and Indiana in the Big Ten championship. Then next week in the playoffs we get who knows, like Oregon and Notre Dame or something. Like you get excited in football back to back to back to back, and football like the best you can get.
Exactly, and that's like not to hate on any teams in the Big Ten, but like Minnesota Northwestern this week, I'm not going to watch that. There's no chance that I watch that. I would rather probably watch that than Rutgers Ohio State, and that's only because Rutgers Ohio State is probably going to turn into going to be a closer game than that. But I still don't want to see them play. I'll go watch an SEC game over that.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's a problem. Big name teams and teams that like were big names or are still like competitive. I feel like in the Big Ten, there's kind of a fine line of like who the top teams are and who just aren't, and like the competition level just there's like a big gap. And I feel like in the SEC it's a little more entertaining to watch because like the gaps aren't as big from like in the range of the team.
Yeah. Other than their like bottom tier in the SEC, like Kentucky and Vanderbilt, or not Vanderbilt anymore, I guess, but previously, more like Mississippi State currently, Auburn currently. Like those guys are bad compared to the ranked SEC teams. Our guys, Iowa obviously is like they're a solid team. They play well against good competition, but they can't beat them. So there is a gap there. It's one of the better teams in the Big Ten on the upper half, but there is still a gap.
Yeah. And I just feel like we need to close that gap. And the best way to do that is start playing like more competitive schedules. Like if I don't want to keep using Ohio State, I'll say like Oregon, for example. I know I may not be like top 2 in like the rankings. When my schedule comes out or I'm creating my schedule, I'm going to pick like 3 teams that I think will be in the top 15 to try and play earlier on in the year. Like to just, I don't know, get more momentum going, get more edge, and just try and knock some of them teams out. You don't want to have to worry about them later on in the playoffs when it's your first time seeing them. Like get that taste of the SEC early and out the way.
Yeah, and even if you're playing a lower tier, like as an Oregon or an Ohio State or, a Michigan, anything like that, like even if you're going and saying, well, we're going to play Kentucky, or we're playing Auburn, we're playing Florida, we're playing Mississippi State, like somebody even on the lower end of the SEC, you're going, okay, this is kind of like you're playing Iowa in the Big Ten, but you're playing an out-of-conference SEC opponent who is still good, and it's like, okay, it's a different conference, good competition, and that's your 3 separate games that aren't a part of your conference games instead of playing an FCS opponent or a MAC school. You're going and playing something fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and that just kills me. Like I don't know. All the listeners, you may not know much about like NCAA, but when they split the teams up, they split them up by tiers. So like tier 1 is like the best teams, or yeah, no, or tier 5 the best teams. I don't know. There are 5 tiers though, and it splits each one up. And I just feel like the better the top tier teams need to just be playing more of the top tier teams instead of focusing on those like trying to get a paycheck or like trying to cruise through a week like just to keep the schedule easy so you don't lose rankings. Like that doesn't help you, because if you lose one game at that point, like your season's over because you have no true competition left on the schedule.
Exactly. And honestly, this has been in place for a couple of years. When they added a second bye week, I hate it so much.
It's so dumb.
I'm not a fan. One bye week is enough. We
Mm-hmm.
should not be having two.
How many games do they play in college football?
12. Regular 12. Season 12.
Okay, yeah.
So we don't need another bye week.
No, we don't. I was about to say, you can play 12 games with one bye week. That's just 2 more than high school, 2 more than like, I don't know, because in high school you only get one bye week. And if you were to add one game before the bye week, one game after, 2 more games, like that would make a big difference. I wouldn't need a whole another bye week just for 2 games.
Yeah, no. I don't even think we didn't even have bye weeks.
Really?
And not in high school, no. Oh, I don't remember having a bye week.
Maybe well, that's true. We didn't always have bye weeks. It would be just like certain or like random years. Like maybe there was an extra week in the school year. We started school early or something, and like we'll play a game, have a bye week, then like go into our next week or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, that's the top 25. That's kind of the way it's moved. Just kind of our thoughts on everything in there. We'll start moving on over to our games this week. We're going to talk about first up on the list is Illinois at Wisconsin. Interesting game for sure. Illinois being one of those teams early on in the year people thought were really good, and now they're just kind of not. And Wisconsin, who has played close against some schools recently.
And yeah, I don't know. Wisconsin, like, when you think about them, like, they're one of those teams you kind of want to count off, but, like, you never can because, like, yeah, they're losing, but, like, recently they've been playing, like, some of the best teams in college football, like Oregon, Ohio State, Washington, Iowa, like, Indiana. Like, that's a tough, like, couple recent games. And, like, yeah, they're more than, like, one-score games, but, like, they're competitive and they're giving the teams, like, a little bit of a scare in those games. So I feel like against Iowa, this is their chance to kind of get the ball rolling.
Illinois.
But yes. Sorry, yeah, not Iowa, Illinois.
Yeah, but yes. Nice, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, and it's like they played Iowa, Ohio State, get blown out. They get blown out, and then it seems like they kind of went, all right, we got to figure something out here. And, I mean, they only lost to Oregon by 14. It was 7-21. That's a good showing for Wisconsin. Then Washington gets ranked, and Wisconsin goes, you're not leaving here with a win. We're going to beat you. And they beat them 13-10. Now, it's not like that's an impressive win. It's not a big win score-wise, but they don't care about that right now. That's a very impressive, and they're building off that. They played all right against Indiana last week. They kept it. It was 10-7. They're down 10-7 at the end of the first half, and then kind of get steamrolled after that. But you're right. They're playing competitive football right now. Ever since the Ohio State game, really, they've been playing competitive football. So you like to see it. It's good for the brand. And I would be scared as an Illinois fan with kind of how hot Wisconsin has, not necessarily hot, but how much they've kind of turned up recently.
Yeah, they seem more confident because, like, after their one or they got 3 wins on the year, but their most recent one was to Washington, 13-10. And that Washington team, they pretty much blew Illinois out 42-25. Like, I would call that a good win for Washington. So Wisconsin, like, they got some hope in this game. Like, they compete and they fought with a really good Washington team that went and handled Illinois, the 21 team. So, like, I don't know, Wisconsin, they shouldn't feel any type of way. Should have some confidence going into this game. I don't know if they win it. I'm still kind of in favor of Illinois, but like Wisconsin, they could have a chance. They got home field advantage. They got a little bit of like momentum, maybe not momentum, but like a chip on their shoulder. They're playing with like a new type of fire. So I don't know. This game could be interesting.
It could be very interesting. And we all know I'm not a fan of Wisconsin, but I do like Luke Fickell. And I still don't know how he has a job, but I would like to see them compete, and I would love to see them win, honestly. I would feel it would be really cool to see them upset Illinois right here, just like they upset Washington when they got ranked. They can do the same thing twice. Washington might have also been ranked number 21 when that happened. They might have been 22, but they were in the 20s. So I just don't remember exactly if they were 21, 22, or 23 when that happened.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's definitely – I don't know. It's Illinois' game to win or lose. It all just depends on, like, what they do with this game. Do they let Wisconsin stay close? Do they let Wisconsin, like, play physical and aggressive football? Or does Illinois come out, like, with their hair on fire and just dominate the game from the start? It's when you play around with teams like Wisconsin, those lower teams that like still have dudes, where the game it just goes bad and you end up with like a Washington type of game. You can't let them stay close. So I feel like it's really just in Illinois' hands what they do with it.
Yes. And anytime you're playing at Wisconsin, this is my thought at least, is you want to be the one who's jumping around at the end of the third quarter. You want your fans, your players to be the ones enjoying Wisconsin's tradition when you play there. You do not want them to be the ones going crazy. Because if this game's tied at the end of the third quarter and jump around comes on and these Wisconsin fans start getting rowdy, it's over.
7:30 p.m.
Yes.
Saturday night, they're going to be feeling really good.
Exactly. So you know that you cannot let them jump around. If this game's close at the end of the third quarter, and when I mean close, I mean within a field goal, maybe a touchdown, Wisconsin has a good shot at winning this game. If you're Illinois, you cannot let that happen. You need to be up by 10 at least at the end of the third quarter in order to go in your mind and go, we have this. This is ours. But I think Illinois still gets it done. I don't necessarily think it's going to be overly close, but I think Wisconsin keeps this within 2 touchdowns like they did with Oregon.
I'm same with you about it. I feel the same way. I feel like Illinois, as long as they handle business, they'll come out and they'll take the win. I don't think they're going to overly dominate and just blow Wisconsin out the water. I think Wisconsin will kind of keep that little chip going on their shoulder, and they'll keep it close. But I think Illinois should be able to pull this one out.
Definitely. And we'll move over to the Michigan at Maryland game. Earlier on in the season, I would have liked to see this game being played.
Yeah.
Not now, because Maryland's lost it.
And it's crazy how fast the season can just like go downhill for a team, because I've always been a big fan of Maryland, and I was rooting for them, but like they just, I don't want to say they gave up, but it just kind of feels like they did on the season.
It does feel like it. I mean, they start off 4-0, and now they're 4-6. They've lost their past 6 straight. And other than the Indiana game, it's been close in most of their games. I mean, you lose to Washington by 4. Washington's a good team. Lose to Nebraska by 3. Nebraska's a solid team as well. Lose to UCLA by 3. You're kind of like, oh, uh-oh. And then they get killed by Indiana. Rutgers, you lose by 15. They should have been closer with Rutgers. They're more comparable to Rutgers. So, and then obviously they lose to Illinois by 18 last week. You'd like to keep it closer than that, but they didn't. So they're just in a weird spot. They were a team I thought was going to be pretty good and has just kind of tumbled. Yeah,
and tumbled for the worst. I feel like this should just be a nice tune-up game for Michigan. This is their chance. I don't really see them like moving up any places in the rankings unless some teams ahead of them lose. I don't see them getting much for this. This should just be their chance to get as much practice against another team before they play Ohio State next week. I feel like they got their biggest game coming up, so like they have to take this serious. Like, do what you can to get the team hot, get their momentum going, get as much confidence in all your guys. Like this week, I'm telling my running back, like, get ready to pass block. Like, we need to get our pass game going because we can't just lean on you for the rest of the season. So this is my chance to I would look at it as like the most competitive scrimmage we're gonna play all year. Like we need to win, but this is our chance to like figure out what we're gonna do for preseason if we make it in bowl games and stuff.
Right. And Maryland is still alive for that bowl game. They have to win out, obviously. I mean, they're 4-6, so you have to upset Michigan, and you have to beat Michigan State, which I think is a very winnable game for them that following week. I don't think they get it done against Michigan this week, but Michigan is missing Justice Hayes. He's out for the rest of the regular season.
Okay.
So that kind of throws a wrench in things a little bit. I mean, obviously, Jordan Marshall is very good running back as well.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's a dog.
And you can run, and your quarterback can run.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Underwood can run. Marshall is a dog. They have decent receivers there as well. So, but Michigan is a slow and steady team. They are in every game this year. They they got scared against Northwestern last week, only winning by 2. Come back, kick a field goal at the end to win. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So 5 points with Purdue. So I'm not scared if I was a Michigan fan of losing, but I am scared of putting up a bad performance because you haven't been playing overly great. I mean, it's their kind of football, but you want to dominate more against these not as good teams.
Yeah, and I feel like just knowing like what you have ahead and how much you have at stake, like you win this game, say they just stayed 18, like beating number 1 Ohio State just does so much for you. And like I don't know what they're where they are in the conference rankings.
Well, so it's kind of weird because you have multiple 1-loss teams in there. So it's all kind of dependent on tiebreakers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If they even beat Ohio State, like obviously they beat Ohio State. They're not like they're ranked above them in the Big Ten, but they wouldn't be like, oh, they're in now. Like it could be Oregon if Oregon wins out.
It's Oregon.
It could be USC if USC wins out. It just depends on the tiebreakers. I'm not exactly confident on what those tiebreakers all are.
Mm-hmm.
So it just puts you in a weird situation when you're going in as Michigan going, hey, we win out. We could be in the Big Ten championship. You will be in the playoffs if you win out. You will. It's a win over number 1 Ohio State. You're going to be in the playoffs. But who knows if you can get an automatic bid or if you're sitting there going, oh, we might be the 12 seed, or I guess the 11. We might be the 11 seed, or we might not even get in. We might be the first guy out, even with beating Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's kind of why, like, I don't know. It's a lot at stake. It really just depends. Like, if I was a voter and I was just doing the Big Ten rankings, USC and Oregon plays this week, so one of them has to lose, and that bumps Michigan up. Then Ohio State say they lose, which they won't, but say they lose, that drops them down. So Michigan would at least be at 3. But considering that they beat like Ohio State, the number 1 team in the nation, number 2 in the conference, I feel like that should give them the boost over USC and Oregon. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just depends. I honestly, I believe, I'll go ahead and say I believe Michigan wins this football game. I think it's more than 3 points, but I honestly, I'm thinking this is probably a 10-point win at maximum.
Against Maryland?
Yes.
Oh,
because of the way Michigan plays. They are slow, methodical drives, and that has kind of screwed them this year. Especially against Purdue, especially against Northwestern, where they're going, okay, run. Oh, we're on 3rd and 13 now after having taken 7 minutes of the drive. 3rd and 13, incomplete pass. And it's like, now you're punting from the 50 or you're kicking a long field goal from the 42. They just keep doing that. So I just assume they're going to keep playing the same way because they always play that way.
Yeah. I don't know. It just depends. Like, because I know what I think they should do, but like obviously their coach has their own plans for them, and they're going to do what they think is best. Like it's been working so far. They're 8-2. Yeah, the games have been close and they've been scary wins, and and like scary losses, but like they're 8-2. They're in like the conversation for a playoff win. So I mean, guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Yeah,
it's gonna be broken very soon though. Next week.
very well could be, and it probably will.
I'm so excited to
Probably.
talk about this next week.
Oh, I bet.
Thursday is gonna be great. Oh, Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we'll work around that.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out. That's
sorry,
that's
guys.
a different conversation. But yeah, we're both in agreement here. Michigan's going to take home the W this week at Maryland. Just I think we're a little different on our scores here, on our how big of a win this could be.
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe 2 scores and a field goal. So I'm saying like I'm gonna give them 17. That's what I'm saying. Michigan wins by.
Giving them 10 at maximum. I really think it's going to be less than that.
I do. I hope so too. So that way next week they're all messed up in the head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But then we'll move on to the rivals, the guys down south from Michigan. Rutgers heads to Ohio State, take on the Buckeyes.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a bludgeoning.
Yeah, quick one. And this is like another part of the frustration. While Ohio State is stuck with these thinking 12 o'clock games every single week, as we just keep playing Rutgers and Grambling State and all these teams. And granted, Rutgers, they were very impressive at the beginning of the year. They had a lot of momentum, and I thought they were going to do some things, but they kind of let go of the season of the year. But hopefully, Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, all the boys, they use this as a nice little tune up and warm up, so they're ready to steamroll those nasty boys upstairs.
Yeah. Well, and from what I've heard, I'm not 100% sure on if this is still happening. I'm pretty sure though that both Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith are out.
What?
I've seen some things that they are not playing until the playoffs because they both have kind of had a little bit of injury problems, and so I don't know for sure. I'm not saying for 100% certain.
Oh, I see it now.
I'm pretty confident neither of them are actually playing in this game, and I don't think it matters. I really don't. Not in this game.
No, not in
when it comes to next week. Oh man, against Michigan, they need to be on the sideline, dressed, ready to play. If that scenario comes up where it's very close and they need to play. This week against Rutgers, don't dress them. No point. I don't think, at least. They're not playing. So it makes it more interesting. You're going to see some of your new playmakers for the next coming season. Like, especially, obviously, Carnell Tate will be gone after this year. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah Smith has one more year. So who's going to be that next number 2 wide receiver next year?
Yeah.
Who's going to take that step up? You're going to be able to see some of that.
Yeah, and I'm definitely excited for it. And I get the guys a week off. Like I get it against Rutgers. You kind of want to give them some, I guess, time to rest. You don't want to risk that injury, but next week, you need them boys on the field, whether you play them or not. You need to say like they're playing, just so Michigan has to game plan for it. Because like, why would you tell them 2 weeks in advance? Like, yeah, they ain't playing, so they can game plan on how to stop Bo Jackson and Peoples. Like and Donaldson, like we need it as spread out as we can. We need them on their toes on edge. Like I know, like we probably gonna win the Natty, but like I want to win against Michigan. I want to feel like I won 3 championships in a row. I want to win against Michigan. I want a rivalry championship. I want the Big Ten championship, and I want the national championship. I want it all. But we can't be benching guys and taking it easy on Michigan. Ryan Day, I can't stand that you just don't care about Michigan. I feel like you don't take this game serious.
But to the point of that, and I don't disagree. I don't necessarily disagree, but let's look and go, would you rather, like obviously sitting these guys for Rutgers is one thing. Mm-hmm. They're hurt still as well. Would you rather rush them back and let them play against Michigan, beat Michigan, but they get hurt, they don't play the rest of the season, and you lose in the playoffs, don't win a national championship, don't win the Big Ten championship because these guys are now out because you put them back too fast? Or would you rather go, okay, we messed up, we lost to Michigan by a field goal, but we still made the Big Ten championship and we won? Or maybe you don't even make it there, but you go, okay, we made the playoffs, we won the Natty, they were healthy. Now Carnell Tate's not going into the draft going, oh yeah, I actually, like, my injury got 10 times worse. Now instead of being a first or second rounder, he's like, oh, I went undrafted. I went in the 7th round. You don't want that to happen to those guys. Same with Jeremiah Smith. You don't want him to get hurt and then he's out the rest of the season, and he comes back next year and it's like, he's not the same.
I definitely get that. It's just like, I don't know, they're not giving us very much information. Like, they're giving us as minimum as they can. Like, if they can go play, then like I feel like they need to go play. But if not, like, if they are really like doing what's best, just like you need to sit, like, think about your future, what's best, like later on the line, then I get that. Do the smartest thing. But like, don't just like treat Michigan as another team, like just another like week in the way of getting us to the playoffs when it really matters and stuff. Like, to us fans, this game matters too. Like, the way we gonna feel about the Big Ten championship if we win is the same way we gonna feel if we beat Michigan. So it's like, this game is important to us fans. If the players can play, we want them to. Obviously, we would rather win the national championship, but we want to win this game too. We want to win this rivalry for once. I'm sick of these yellow boys always talking trash about how they've been beating us in the past. Y'all teams suck. Besides that national championship, y'all haven't done nothing. Nothing but beat us. Who wins the national championship?
Yeah. But, like, if the trainers, their doctors are all going, hey, these guys need to sit out for a little bit, hold them off till the playoffs, they will be fully good to go then. Or wait till the Big Ten championship, they'll be fully good then. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. Let's protect our players. You don't want people getting hurt for dumb reasons. But if they are good and it's kind of like there's a little minor thing going on, but, they practice through it every day and they could play. They could. We just don't want them to because it's because it's minor. It's like, dude, if you're practicing every day, you should be playing. That's just, if you're contact practice, you're not having any limitations in practice, which I don't know if they are or not. But if you have no limitations in practice, you should be playing on the football field on Saturdays.
I agree. I 100% agree.
But this is a big game for Rutgers. Obviously, they're 5-5. They have this game and then they have Penn State left. So they're going to do their damnedest as anything they can do in order to make a bowl game at this point. And if you go 7-5 instead of 6-6, you're going to make an even better bowl game, especially if you beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
They're going to do everything they can. Obviously, you want to spoil the top dog season.
Of course, everybody wants to be the team that ruined like the best team season, that beat the best team. And Rutgers, I guess they have a chance. They don't have a big one, but they got a chance to do that this week. I'm interested to see what Ryan Day is gonna come up with. But I don't know. I just feel like our guys are still gonna go out there and dominate. I see us winning by, I don't know, like 35 or something, 30-something points.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with you. I definitely think we're going to see pretty much a mass destruction of Rutgers this week. But, yeah, probably 4 touchdowns at least, 28 points at least, probably in a win is what I'm kind of feeling here. And then that takes us over to our big game of the week this week. USC, number 15 in the country, going to Oregon, number 7 in the country, playing in Eugene. Huge game for playoff implications. Like, one of the biggest we've had all season, honestly.
Yeah. And these are the games like we were mentioning earlier in the year. Like, these are the exciting Big Ten games like we want to see. When the games actually mean something, when it's not just like the middle of the season. Like, this it means something down the road. Like, this makes or breaks like these guys' season. So this is like a game that you're going to want to watch because these are 2 really good teams who can score a lot of points, who can stop you from scoring points. Like, this is a game to watch.
Yeah, and USC obviously right now has 2 losses. So you lose this game as USC, you are out. You're done. That season's over. You're not in the playoffs. And, I guess people are out here saying, I hate to say the season's over when you just don't make the playoffs. Obviously, yeah, go play your bowl game, like have fun. But the ultimate goal is to win a national championship. So if you're not in contention for that, to me, the season's over. It's done. So you have to, as USC, have to do every single thing in your power to win this football game, or it's done. And Oregon, you could lose this game. Could. Being 9-1, you end 10-2, you still can get in. But if the SEC is being this highly ranked right now, even with 2 losses, you don't want to play that guessing game of, we should still be able to get in. You don't want to. You don't want to do that. You don't want to rely on other people to lose. You want to control your own destiny. So must win for both of them. Obviously, you don't ever want to lose, but USC especially, like they have a chip on their shoulder. They need to be the driving factor in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How far do you think USC is from Oregon?
I mean, a couple thousand miles. I mean, they're going to fly up to Oregon. So, I mean, it's not like, and they're still in the same time zone, and they've been playing there for years. Like the team is routinely meant to do this. They understand traveling here.
I was wondering how far it was, if like the fans, like if USC would have a lot of fans show up or not.
Well, they don't even have fans at their own home games, so they don't fill up their stadium. They have a beautiful stadium in the Coliseum, and they tarp off half of it because they can't fill it. Like the West Coast, and when I say that, I more mean Los Angeles and California, just doesn't care about college sports, which is a shame when you have a program like USC.
Mm-hmm. And I think with the direction USC is going in, like that definitely will change soon, because like they're gonna bring in some real good recruits, like, and they have been over the years. They've been like getting like little dudes at a time, like dudes come in, but then dudes will go. Like they're getting their guys to stay now, and they're getting guys bought in. So like, I don't know, Oregon better watch out. Like they might not be that team on the West Coast no more. USC, like this is their chance this weekend to make the statement as the West Coast team. Because right now, like when I think of West Coast football, I think about Oregon.
100%. And I think USC is more of like hey, when we're really good, the fans actually come out. They decide to care.
Mm-hmm.
They decide to care. Like Reggie Bush, like, the early 2000s, Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had fans in their stadium. They had fans going to the national championship games they were playing in. Mm-hmm. But like ever since then, they haven't really had anything going for them. And their fan base just doesn't show up routinely, unlike a school like even Penn State right now, going through some bad stuff. They're still filling up their stadium. Iowa, when they have down years, they fill up their stadium. Michigan State, Minnesota, like Michigan, when they were having bad years, like all of them, they still fill their stadium to about the same level as normal. And if they're really good, they're obviously just going to sell out consistently. USC just doesn't do that. Even right now, it's like they're not selling out their stadium. And if they are, they're selling out what's not being tarped off and covered. So it's just, I just don't think fans play a huge factor in USC games for them.
Well, I guess that's good then, because like going on the road, especially to that Oregon stadium, like you have to be ready, and you can't let fans bother you. And I guess like not having your own fans really support you, it definitely won't bother you when other fans boo you. So I think this is going to be a real competitive game. I'm definitely excited to watch it. 3:30 p.m. on CBS, so you can watch the game. But my pick, I'm going to go with Oregon. I think Oregon, they defend their stadium, and I think they get the win.
I'm going to go on a different side here. I'm going to take USC. And I'm going to take USC because their defense is better than Oregon's offense. And their offense is better than Oregon's defense. 100%. I saw both these teams play against Iowa, just in a common factor thing. The way that they both played in really rainy environments, same thing. Oregon played Iowa worse than USC played Iowa. USC dominated Iowa the whole second half. I see USC winning this game. See them winning by 10 to 17 points.
Ooh.
I think they do it. maybe it's not going to be that much, but I'm picking USC. I'm picking the Trojans. They're going to go to Autzen Stadium, go to Eugene, Oregon, walk out with a W, and probably end up making the playoffs because of that.
That would be exciting. I would love to see that. Yeah, I would love to see USC get it done because I know, like, if USC comes in and get this win, like, they're going to put on a masterclass performance. Like, it's going to be a game like probably one we haven't seen in a while. Like, this is going to be an exciting game. USC is going to come out with everything they got, and they're such an explosive team. Like, I would hate to play a team as explosive as them in a game that means as much as this one because they're going to come out with everything they have, all their best plays. They're going to be on point.
And they are a big play team, but Oregon kind of is too. And I like that USC defense to be able to stop those big plays. So I just see the Trojans beating the Ducks. I don't know what it is. Like I do, but I don't. Like, it's just a feeling in me that the Trojans get it done.
I definitely can see it. Like, because I don't think that Oregon, like, if they win, I don't think that they win by much. Like, I feel like it's going to be a nail biter. Like, if Oregon wins, it's going to come down to the last second. Like, it'll be like last second touchdown, no time left in their clock where they like waste time and then kick a last second field goal. Like, I feel like it's going to come down to the very end of the game.
I kind of hope this game goes to overtime.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
That'd just be awesome. Yeah, just a nice thriller.
Mm-hmm.
But that pretty much sums it up for us today. Gave you everything that we had to offer here on these games. The other games rounding out the weekend are Minnesota going to Northwestern, playing at Wrigley Field. Michigan State traveling to Iowa. Nebraska heads out to Penn State. Will Matt Rule follow after the season and leave Nebraska to go to Penn State? Possibility. He played there. Might. I don't know. Maybe a discussion for a later time. And then rounding out the end of the night, some late night, quote unquote, Big 12 after Big 10 after dark. I apologize. I was thinking Pac-12 in my head originally, like, as it used to be Pac-12 after dark, but now it's kind of a Big 10 after dark with Washington heading down to UCLA to take on the Bruins to end out the night. But thank you guys for tuning in this week. Again, apologies for no episode Monday. We'll have another one for you this upcoming Monday. Definitely, 100%. We will not miss that. And just make sure you get your coffee in the morning, cream, sugar, whatever you want in it. If you drink it black, have gum ready. Nobody wants to smell coffee breath. Have your gum. But
gotta have that gum.
Exactly. But again, thank you guys for tuning in, and tune back in again on Monday where we recap everything. And have a good morning and have a good rest of your weekend. Watch some football, guys.
See you guys.